Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning to everyone. I'm the Panda Photographer, and I'm going to talk about the Sigma 105, and I'm just going to talk about Sigma entirely. Why the Sigma 105 might be the best lens of the year. So with that said, I'm going to wait until a few people come into the live chat or into the live. Just woke up and I'm reading articles after articles after articles, and it came to me that the Sigma 105 is right between the 85 and the 135. And yes, you can shoot 135 for portraits and get very shallow depth of field, but the 105 seems to be that sweet spot that not too many manufacturers can get it right. Nikon has, I think, a 105 as well, and that was pretty sharp, but the Sigma 105 is very sharp. But with that said, let's get into this really quickly. Alright guys, so the 105 is just a beautiful bokeh master. Now, I'm a photographer that does not have the E-mount or doesn't shoot with Nikon cameras anymore. So I'm not able to actually get this for the A-mount. But Sigma, if you're listening, there is a large community of A-mount shooters out there that would love to see more of the newer cinema glass on A-mount, like the A99 Mark II, the A99, the A77 Mark II. Hopefully we get a new A-mount from Sony soon. And as an A-mount shooter, I use the Sigma 18 and 35, and I have to say the optics are just beautiful. And landscapes, portraits, concerts, party events, time lapses, video. It's a very versatile lens, and f1.8, but this is a 1.4 DG HSM. It's a really heavy lens, by the way. Now they do say that on the Sigma 105 website that you can take off that that collar bracket or that collar mount, and you can take that off. But people are raging. My YouTube feed is full of nothing but Sigma 105 comparisons and Sigma 105 reviews. I'm like, what? Reviews? Listen, as a photographer, I know that some of these shortcoming reviews don't make sense to me, and as a photographer, I emphasize this a lot. In order to actually make sure that this lens is capable of doing quite a few things, not just portraits, you test a lens to its capabilities. Test it for ghosting, test it for any vignetting, test it in different situations. Like for me, I use a micro lens for time lapses, B-rolls, and the portraits and a lot more. But can you use the 105 as a versatile lens? And that is my question. But this is beyond what kind of glass set we had back in the day when Sigma first came out. Was pretty trashy. They were okay, but they weren't great. But Sigma over the years have improved on this secret sauce they're putting on their lenses. And I have to say, build quality has gotten to much better. Build quality on, not just on the build quality side that gotten better, but weather sealing has improved on the Sigma glasses. So my question is, if Sigma was to make this for not every single mount, but selected mounts, would I be happy with this lens? I pretty will be sure, I know for sure that I will be happy with the lens, but it's very heavy, very, very heavy. Now, I'm not the particular person that doesn't care about weight, because I am a travel photographer that carries a lot of gear when I can, but 70 elements and 12 groups, that's a lot of glass. That's seriously a lot of glass. Its minimum aperture is f16, okay, which is by far crazy. The filter size is 105, so keep in mind, guys, if you are going to buy this lens, you have to evaluate, can you afford ND filters or polarizers for this lens, because they're going to be quite significantly expensive lenses, ND filters or polarizers. The bigger the polarizers filter size, the thread size, sorry, filter thread size, the more expensive the ND filters are going to be. But they do make it for Sigma cameras, Nikon, Canon, and Sony E-mount. Not capable with A-mount lenses, DSLRs, which is funny because A77 Mark II, A99, A99 Mark II are translucent mirrorless cameras. Yes, they are SLT, but I don't really call them DSLRs for some reason, but I don't know. For me, I think cinema should think about A-mount shooters as well as me as an A-mount shooter, because I cannot afford to spend money on a new body when I can take that money and buy this glass if they make it compatible. That will make more practical sense for me, because I know the camera that I'm using, it's gonna last a much longer period of time, and it hasn't failed on me so far. So this is why I'd rather spend money on glass than bodies. But if I have no choice to buy a body, then I have to spend money on extra glass, which is very expensive for me. And if I do have the money for it, the combination that I definitely would use for this, and I'm going a little bit old school on you guys, A7R with this lens, with that 36.4 megapixel sensor, that's enough for portraits and time lapses. I have used that camera, owned that camera till it got stolen, but that camera did everything that I wanted to do. Yes, the clunky shutter noise is annoying as fuck. I understand that, but it was a camera body that I really enjoyed doing portraits with. I stopped using my A77 because of that. I was like, okay, I love this. I love the details. I love the diamond range. I love the colors were neutral, but not as good as Nikon Canon, but I fixed that in post. But the point is, the Sigma 195 A7R, because I'm going old school, because I want to save money and I have to be smart about it. Becoming a smart photographer and calculating your budget is so important. And yes, this lens is super expensive, but for me, I think it's worth the money, because just the fact that it's between the 85 and the 135, and it's just the sweet spot that I think more camera lens manufacturers should start developing. I know Sigma came out with a what is that, 135 and the 100 f2, and oh my god, those lenses were incredible. And yes, they were manual lenses at the time, but they were incredible at what they did. And for Sigma to come to this territory of dominating in the lens category, it's impressive. Don't get me wrong. Now, Tamron has released the 28-75, which is also impressive, but the 105 is just taking the thunder from the Tamron 28-75 when it comes down to articles and feedback. More feedback is needed, because I'm not seeing quite a few. I'm only seeing some from like David Oyster or Chelsea and Tony. I'm not seeing quite a few that are pushing me forward to buy a new email or trade email, which I don't mind trading email, but the sacrifice is that if I go to a 66,000, that means I have no headphone jack, which is gonna suck, and I don't want to really do that. But as I said, I kept you guys on this page for so long. But yeah, it's an incredible lens. I think for me, as a photographer, I will invest in it. If someone was to make an adapter, E to A mount, or someone just come up with a mount, just a number of them, not 1,000 of them, but a number of them, because I'm pretty sure if this was to come out A mount, you're gonna see a lot of A mount shooters coming out the freaking closet like, I'm gonna buy this lens because this is the newest lens. I want to see what it's capable of. Yes, it's meant for full frame, keep that in mind, but believe you still can use it for a crop sensor, and yes, the focal length is going to change on you as well, so that might be something to look into as well. But it's a great lens. I think it's wonderful. I think it's well built. I just think it's a little bit heavy, so that's one of my concerns, and the price. And if I ever going to get this lens in my hands, I'm probably sure I'm not in the next year or two, but because I'm a poor photographer, I'm keeping it funky and keeping it real. I'm poor. I used to be well founded, but financial stuff got in the way. But if I did have the money, I definitely would buy this lens and play with it. And I won't even give you guys a review on the lens. Okay, I won't do that. I'll wait like my 30-60 days of me using it because you guys should know, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I do a number of different categories in photography: time lapses, long exposures, day exposures, blue hour, golden hour, portraits, nature, pretty much a lot. And I would test this lens in all categories just to see, just to show you what you're capable of doing with just a lens. This is why yesterday I posted a video about how I did a long exposure at night with the micro lens. So, and it turned out pretty good. But with that said, everyone, I'm the Panda Photographer here. The 105 might be the best lens of the year. The build quality, the fantastic capabilities, if you want to shoot other categories with it, because it feels like, to me, this is a versatile lens. And I'm happy with my Sigma 1835. I'm happy with Sigma's glasses overall, because I did at one point had an 85 and it was good. I did also have, what is that? Was that the 14? The 14, comparing the Sigma 14, and didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, but I just felt like the Samyang was a tad bit sharper in my opinion, but I digress. The Panda Photographer here. You guys want to subscribe? Do subscribe. Do hit the like button, and this is just my thoughts, this is my rant about the Sigma 135, but I really truly believe that this is going to be the lens of the year. I swear, there's no doubt about it that this lens is going to be lens of the year, and kudos to Sigma. And yes, you can call me sort of like a Sigma lens fanboy, because I've been using Sigma glasses and Samyang glasses for a while now. So I got rid of the Sony lenses for A mount. They weren't that great, but they did the job. But I went with something a little bit better. It came out with something better, so I chose Sigma and Samyang. Subscribe, like, share, leave your thoughts in the comments down below after this live. But like I said, this is just my rants. You guys want to have a decent conversation about this? Leave your comments down below. But with that said, everyone, eat, sleep, photography, videography, and repeat. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.